Hello everybody and welcome back to the Ultimate Fashion History channel for this week's Fave Film Fashion. This time around, we're heading back to 1959 with North by Northwest, starring Cary Grant, Eva-Marie Saint, James Mason, and directed, of course, by Alfred Hitchcock. It's my favorite Hitchcock movie. I show North by Northwest every semester in one of my classes because it brings together and illustrates so perfectly all of the mid-century modern signifiers we've been discussing. Modernism, the obsession with travel, Cold War espionage, all of that good stuff, but of course mostly fashion. And in North by Northwest, Eva-Marie Saint wears the two dominant silhouettes of the 1950s, and I'm always talking about silhouette in class. Of course, the new look, and then that slim pencil silhouette that really was the rival of the new look. And I always try to get across to my kids that in the 1950s, women would have both of these silhouettes in their wardrobe. They might have a preference for one or the other, but it's a pretty good chance that they would have both. And of course, in North by Northwest, Eva-Marie Saint wears both. So it's a really great movie to show the kids. And boy, do they love it. So who did the costumes for North by Northwest? Well, if you're watching this little video of mine, I'm guessing that you probably already know the answer. Alfred Hitchcock really wanted the legendary Edith Head over here on the right to do the costumes for North by Northwest because he loved the way that Edith had worked with Kim Novak on the previous year's Vertigo. However, North by Northwest is an MGM movie, and Edith was under contract to Paramount at the time and wouldn't be loaned out to do the costumes for North by Northwest. This meant that the wardrobe for the movie fell upon the MGM wardrobe department, and Alfred Hitchcock hated their ideas and their designs for Eva-Marie Saint. So, as I'm sure many of you already know, Alfred Hitchcock took Eva-Marie Saint on a shopping spree to Bergdorf Goodman. And they sat and they watched the models modeling that season's collection because, of course, in those days, department stores like Bergdorf had in-store models who would model the collections, and the two of them simply picked out what they liked best. So I think that the credit for wardrobe in North by Northwest, at least Eva-Marie Saint's wardrobe, actually falls on these two. I think we can also credit Bergdorf Goodman with the shoes and accessories for North by Northwest because eagle-eyed fashion aficionados who are watching this movie may have noticed that when she opens her handbag in a particular scene, you can see the Bergdorf label there. Eva-Marie Saint plays a character called Eve Kendall, who is the quintessence of the Hitchcock blonde, cool, collected, confident. And this is really reflected in her cool, confident, and terribly chic wardrobe. We first meet Eve in the dining carriage of the 20th century, the luxury train hurtling from New York to Chicago. She's wearing a two-piece wool skirt suit with white notch collar with ribbon trim, and we only see her standing up for a very brief moment from the back, and you can see this pencil skirt falls just to the top of her calf. Later in this sequence, she removes the jackets, and we see she's wearing a 3/4 length white blouse with peasant top and gentle stitch ruching around the neckline, and at the back there is a peekaboo button fastening with rows of covered buttons, 3 at a time. Such a great and classic look, and so much better, I think, and so much more in keeping with the character than another suit that was considered for this scene. This one. It's absolutely great, but it doesn't have that kind of seductive sex appeal that simple and quite mysterious black suit seems to have. Although I would sell my high teeth for this green suit here. Of course, the most famous dress in the movie is this one. a slightly off the shoulder bateau neck, new look gown with 3/4 length sleeves, and look at the side, how the neckline slopes down almost off the shoulders to make this V-neck at the back that is fastened with a 3-button fastening at the waist. Wow, what a fantastic dress. What's it made of? Well, it's made of flocked silk with these beautiful red flocked roses, all of it teamed with this one string of rubies. What a fabulous dress. So much nicer and more spectacular than one of the options for this scene. This is wonderful, isn't it? This looks like a long-sleeved crepe dress in black with sheared gloves and a mink stole wrap. It's a fabulous outfit, but I much prefer the dress, don't you? Another dress I'd love to own from North by Northwest is the one that Eva-Marie Saint wears in the Cafeteria Scene at Mount Rushmore. This bateau-necked crepe dress with elbow-length sleeves and taupe kid gloves. And if you look at a side view, you see that there is also a taupe waistband, and that taupe is followed through with the trim on her little skull cap. Isn't that a great outfit? So chic. Much nicer than another option they were toying with for this scene. Of course, this is a wonderful dress. It looks like it might be silk, actually, but I much prefer the bateau neck dress. Far sexier and slinkier, although I confess I do rather like that dusty rose-coloured beret on the side of her head. Now this is a dress that is so contemporary, any of us ladies could wear it into work any day, couldn't we? This beautiful linen burnt sienna V-neck slim dress with matching belt and scarf detailing that is teamed with a 5-button burnt sienna jacket with Napoleon collar. And if all this wasn't good enough, check out this wrap and those wonderful leather gloves. What a fabulous look. I want to say a few words about Eva-Marie Saint's jewellery in North by Northwest. Last time on Fave Film Fashion, I did Imitation of Life with Lana Turner, and I absolutely raved about all of the sparkling, sumptuous, over-the-top and outrageous Lacan jewellery she wore. I loved it, but you know what? I love the jewellery that Eva-Marie Saint wears in North by Northwest just as much, but for the opposite reasons. So delicate, so ladylike, so understated, and so in keeping with her character as a woman who was playing the role of the mistress of a wealthy man. These delicate, understated pieces like this rectangular emerald necklace pendant on a chain so fine you can barely see it. And I love this little delicate, tiny gold watch. We've already talked about the ruby pearl necklace that she wears with that dress. And look at this string of tiny little delicate pearls she wears in the choker style. And both of these necklaces work so well with the bateau necklines that she wears quite frequently. I also love this ring, and I could not get a good picture of it, so I went onto Google, right, to try to find a better image of the ring she wears with the red and black flocked dress. And I found one. This is not the ring. This is a reproduction I discovered, and I have to share this site with you because I'm so excited by it. Hollywood Collection, original reproductions of cinematic jewels from legendary film. This is my dream website. They have all these different collections. Look, the Lana Turner collection, the Barbara Stanwyck collection, the Betty Davis collection, and so on and so forth, with reproductions of all of our favorite classic film jewelry for like 80 bucks, $100. I need to make some money because I intend to buy everything from the Hollywood collection. What a fabulous idea. I love these people. Hair and makeup. Her makeup in the movie was so subtle and soft. I absolutely loved it. Hardly any eyeshadow. but a little bit of eyeliner and false eyelashes perfectly placed. But it is her hair that I'm particularly in love with. Now, there is a Hollywood rumor, probably put out by MGM at the time of release, that Alfred Hitchcock was so autocratic in his vision that he made Eva-Marie Saint cut off all of her beautiful long hair to play Eve Kendall in North by Northwest. Eva-Marie Saint says this is complete rubbish. She never had long hair, and that's certainly true because this is Eva-Marie Saint in a far less glamorous role just the year before, and you can see she really didn't have to lose a lot of hair for this movie. But I love this haircut so much. It's feminine, but it's classy. It's chic and sophisticated, but at the same time, it has that little bit of sexy flirtation going on with it. Before I turned 50, a couple of years ago now, about a week before my 50th birthday, I watched North by Northwest with my class. At the time, I had kind of longish hair with extensions and all kinds of stuff going on in this desperate attempt to cling to youth. I thought, right, I'm turning 50, I'm going into a new decade, I want a new look. So what I did, I printed out this still that I'm showing you here from North by Northwest, and I gave it to my friend and stylist, the very talented Lanita Adams, and I said, that's how I want my hair to look. And that's the hairdo she gave me, and I've had it ever since. It's so easy to do. In fact, I have a tutorial on how to get the Hitchcock blonde hairdo in about 5 minutes. I'm so glad that they decided to give Eva-Marie Saint this hairdo, because this was the original hairdo they were toying with. It's lovely, but it's so obviously an artificial bun. I'm so glad they went with this haircut. Otherwise, who knows what my hair would look like today. Now, of course, no discussion of clothing in North by Northwest could be complete without touching on Cary Grant's fabulous suit. It was recently voted by menswear experts the best suit of the 20th century. I read that somewhere, and I can certainly see why. It is a single-breasted suit with 3-row 2-button front, a buttonhole lapel, jetted pockets. It's made of worsted wool in a sort of pale blue plaid. It actually looks grey on screen, but in close-ups it has a bluish tint to it. It's from his own wardrobe. Cary Grant had it written into many of his contracts, including his contract for North by Northwest, that he would provide his own wardrobe and that MGM would pay. It was made by Arthur Lyons at Kilgore, French and Starbury. Now, Arthur Lyons was the Duke of Windsor's tailor, so you knew you were getting a quality, right? There were 6 versions of the suit made for North by Northwest, because he wears it throughout the entire movie. 2 of them, however, were stunt versions created at Quintano of Beverly Hills. Not of such high quality because he had to roll about in them. This suit has slightly padded shoulders and is made of worsted wool. Did I say that already? I love this suit. Worn, of course, with a simple white dress shirt and a slate, sort of bluish grey silk tie. Why doesn't every man wear this suit? I'm glad they don't, because if they did, I would fall in love with every man, and then I'd have a problem. I loved it when he teamed them with these Wayfarer sunglasses. This has to be the coolest look ever. But you know what? Every guy in North by Northwest looked great. There was a time when grown men looked like grown men. I bet they all smelled really nice too, with lovely aftershave and cologne. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this foray into FAVE film fashion. You can email me through my website, amandahalley.com, join our Facebook group, and of course, click the little circle to subscribe. I'll be back next week with more FAVE film fashion. Until then, thanks ever so much for watching. Bye for now.